Hey lovelies, I wanted to talk to you today about 5 big things that you can do to get better results from your Seint makeup. I see sometimes even with people who've been doing their makeup for a while, but a lot of times when people start, it's such a different process. And I'll have people who say, I just don't feel like I can get it to look the way it does on you or the way you do it on me. And they feel like they're not quite getting it at first. And so these 5 things will make a huge difference. First of all, I think of don't be afraid of the BBC. Do not be afraid to use bronzer. You can hardly use enough of our Bella bronzer because it's a cream, and the way they made it, it's like a stain. So it's not a super saturated opaque cream that you can't see through. Bella bronzer is just a stain of color. It's made to, because it's a cream, it's gonna melt into your skin just like all of the other yummies, but it is made to just kind of look like a natural tanned, flush, summery, sunny glow. And it's got all of that goodness. And so like I said, it's hard to use too much. It's possible, but you would have to go a long way. And the whole point of bronzer is to give your skin life. It is what helps to take our 3D foundation and sculpt and chisel your face to give that 3D look as opposed to the flat 2D look of normal makeups like liquid foundations. And it is part of what is going to round your face. And so in my hack videos, I show you where to put all of these things, but bronzer makes a huge difference. It gives your face so much life. It is a youthful look. It wakes it up. It just makes you and your skin look healthy. So do not be afraid of bronzer. That's the first thing. Number 2 on the do not be afraid of the BBC is blush. So blush, a lot of women don't wear blush, and it's so surprising to me because blush is so wonderful. It gives a youthful look, it wakes up your face, it makes it look healthier, it just makes it come alive, just like the bronzer, but in a different way. It also, of course, our Seint makeup is cream. And so the wonderful thing, all my life, I have been using blush since I was a teenager, since I was first allowed to use makeup. And I thought that all I could use were like peachy pinks, like similar to like Hollywood. I thought that that's what you had to wear on my skin because all my life I was wearing powders. This was in the 80s, and we had just gotten out of the 70s where women were wearing rouge, they called it, and it was creams. It was really thick concentrated creams, and they were really kind of garish colors in a lot of circumstances, and people put it on really thick and crazy and not always flattering colors, not in a flattering way. And that's what I thought of cream blushes. And so I stuck with powder. But what I found, even when I was young, but especially more and more so as I got older, is that the powder sits on top of your skin. And it made me think of when I was a little girl, when I would see these nice ladies who were like in their 90s, how you could really, really see the powder blush sticking on their skin and in the little, nooks and crevices and hairs of their face, and it was just sitting on top, and it has kind of an aging factor. And so do not be afraid of blush. The other thing is, since ours are cream blushes, then I have found that I do not have to be stuck in a peachy pink color just because I have warm skin. I can wear the cool colors, I can wear the bright colors, I can wear the colors that you may think are scary, like black cherry or love spell, which sadly is discontinued, but I have a way to get that color. But anyway, You can, since the cream blushes melt into your skin, they are not aging. They're the exact opposite. They give you a youthful look. They make your skin look healthy. You can do it light to where it looks like a natural flush, or if you like color like me and you are not afraid of blush, then you can lay it on and get a little color going. Make it look like you're happy, like you're joyful, like you're excited, and you can definitely get it darker. It's super saturated, super pigmented, so it just takes the tiniest dab and it just is the cherry on top. It sets everything off. So do not be afraid of the bronzer or the blush. Now the C, and don't be afraid of the BBC, and our number 3 is contour. Now, a lot of people are afraid of contour right off the bat because they're not used to using contour. A lot of people do not wear contour. Some people do if they're really into makeup, but many people do not. It's been a fairly recent phenomenon in the last decade or so where it has become a little more mainstream for people to begin to look at contour, and then sometimes they'll just play a little bit, put a little darker color, a little bronzer or something under their cheeks just to kind of play around. But they don't go all in. So when I color match you, I specifically look at your skin and on the colors that would be perfect for your skin tones and all of your coloration in your face, and I will give you the contour color that would work best for you. Now, it is not the only contour color that would work. You usually have a couple you can get away with. I have Astoria is the one that I use most often, but sometimes if I want a more glam, more defined look, sometimes I will use Indigo, and if I want to go a little lighter, a little warmer, sometimes I'll go with Stone. So they give slightly different looks, but I will tell you the one that will look the best, or at least will look fabulous on you, probably the best depending on your preferences. You may want to go full on glam in the super deep Indigo. So, but it will look great on you. So don't be afraid to use it, because again, it is part of our 3D face system. So it is part of what sculpts your face and chisels it and gives you that beautiful 3D look. So your face and your features and all of the best parts, the unique beauty that you have, are going to pop when we have parts that are accentuated a little more and parts that recess and recede and are chiseled and are polished and sculpted. It's what makes everything work. So don't be afraid of the contour. Again, in my how to hack videos, I show you exactly where to put the contour. It makes a humongous difference. I love to contour my cheeks. I contour my whole face. I love to contour my nose. That is so underestimated, and I didn't think I needed it at first because my nose is fairly thin and I liked my nose before, but once I started wearing it for a while, then suddenly I can't unsee it, and when I don't wear it, I'm like, oh, my nose isn't as cute. It doesn't look like upturned like it used to when I was a little kid. It doesn't look as thin, and it doesn't pop and pull together with everything else. So it again is just like a cherry on top. It looks so good. So don't be afraid to contour your face, and don't be afraid to go a little darker with it. When I first put mine on, if you can see in my how to hack videos, I'm going like heavy, and if it's not heavy enough with the first application, then I'm going back to put on more because I want it chiseled. And at first it will look crazy until you get your blush on top of it, and then they will kind of marry together and even each other out and balance for the whole look. So don't be afraid to try. What do you have to lose? Try it one day. Try it on a weekend when you're not going anywhere and see, and I promise you, you will get the hang of it and you will love it. So don't be afraid. Don't go too light, and don't forget to use your contour. It's going to make a huge difference. Now, so those are our BBCs. And number 4, and this may seem self-serving because when I talk about brushes, then people think, oh, well, I've got brushes at home and, you know, maybe I've used them or I've never really used them. And I spent, you know, plenty of money on those. My husband bought them or my mom bought them for me or whatever. Oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, brushes and tools. there are other tools too, Perfector sponge that we have, but it makes a humongous difference. I have all of our brushes and I use almost every single one of those on an everyday basis. Now, if I wanted to keep it super simple, I could just use one, but I am going to get the best look if I use the exact right tool for the job. Now, they're versatile. I use them for various different things, like my multitasker brush. I'll use that for my nose contour. I will use that for eyeshadow. I'll use it for lips. I use it for spot treatment. I use it, sometimes for eyeliner. I use it for a variety of things. So it's not a waste. It's not that I'm only using it for lip liner and then I have to have another brush for the next thing. It's not that I have to have 50 different brushes, but it is so helpful to find the brush or to have the brush that is perfect for the job. So you won't get the absolute best top level look if you do not have the right tools for the job. Now, couple things on this. I will recommend, a lot of times, sometimes people buy the whole brush collection, which is awesome. The brush collection, it has most of our brushes and it is a deal. I don't believe it has the blush and bronzer, which this is a must. This is really important. But I think there may be like 2 brushes, maybe 3, because I think it may be missing a couple of the eyeshadow brushes too, somewhere around there, but it is missing some. It's not our entire collection, but it's most of it. And so some people go right to that and get almost everything because they want to have it. If you want to start with one brush and see, I will recommend a brush for you depending on your skin texture, depending on your skin, the finish you're looking for, on your problem areas, if you need a heavier coverage or a lighter coverage, on many, many different things, on the maturity of your skin. It all depends. There is no one brush that I would recommend for everyone. Any brush could be used. So like if we're talking about your skin makeup, you can use one brush for everything between that and your fingers, and it will get the job done. I'm just saying it won't be your best, most perfect application. So it's like, I was trying to think of an analogy, and I love to cook. So it's like if you had a slotted spoon and you were wanting to scoop up this pasta dish or soup, and it had a great sauce, like a yummy Alfredo with lots of garlic and parsley and all the yummy goodness, cheese. And you were scooping it up and you're using a slotted spoon, but it's really liquidy and you're losing almost all of your sauce right away. So mainly they're getting pasta, which is still awesome. It's gonna have a little bit of the sauce on it, a little bit of taste of it, but it's not going to be as good as if you use a regular spoon and get all of the sauce and all of the yummy goodness. And that is going to be your best flavor, your best eating experience. And that's kind of the way it is with the makeup. You can get it done, but if you truly do want the best look every time, then definitely invest in the brushes. The other thing I'm going to say is that if you have your Seint makeup and you feel like you're having trouble with it, either your skin is getting more oily or it's drying out or you're having breakouts or you're not getting the coverage or you're not getting this right or you're not, whatever it is. So everyone's skin is different, you know that, but sometimes people's skin reacts differently. Like sometimes I will do eyeshadows and eyeliners on women, and for whatever reason, their skin and their skin tones really absorb the color. So you have to use really dark pigmented colors because the lighter colors just don't show up that much on them. And so it is very specific to them. My skin used to be extremely oily all of my life, from teen years to late 40s, up until just within this past probably 6-8 months, something like that. And when I was first putting it on, first let me also say, if your skin after you put on the makeup is sticky, if it's real shiny, you are probably, and this is a very, very, very common problem, I feel like nearly everyone does this, is that you're probably using too much, because our creams are very, very concentrated, and it's not like liquid foundation. It's a separate thing. They're very pigmented, concentrated. It does not take much. A dab will do you, so you don't need nearly as much as you think. So if you're getting super shiny or sticky, that's probably the problem. But there are all of these kind of little tips and tricks and ins and outs that aren't necessarily going to apply to everyone, but may apply to a segment of women. So if you are having a problem and you communicate it to me, if you're saying, I just, the contour isn't doing that much for me, I tried it and it's not working, then something is wrong in the technique or the brush or color or something, because it should make a big difference. It should look great. And so let me know, communicate with me exactly what that problem is, and we can figure it out. If I haven't encountered it, I guarantee one of my Seint sisters have, and we're in a Seint artist group where we ask questions and share things with each other, and so I can ask someone else. I'm sure that someone has encountered it. Most customers, it goes pretty seamlessly, and they get things going and they get it figured out after a couple of weeks or a month or two, depending on how much they put on their makeup, how often, and they get it figured out. But then others will, have different skin issues or have different needs, and it will take them a while because there needs to be a couple things tweaked. They need a separate tip on how to get their skin from being oily. After a few months, mine evened out because the moisturizing factors in the makeup made my oil production glands quit overproducing. But sometimes in those first couple months, sometimes people will feel a little more oily. So there's tips and tricks how to avoid that. There's tips and tricks for just about everything. So if you have any problems at all, yes, this is bomb makeup. It's revolutionary. It is awesome. But when you get it, you're a newbie. It's like handing you algebra or something and you expecting yourself to get it all at once and off the bat. No, it's not as hard as algebra. It's not as dramatic, but it's different. It's totally different. And so you've kind of got to retrain your brain and not, you're not expected to know everything. No one knows everything. So if you have a problem, reach out to me, communicate to me, and we can get that looking like it's supposed to and looking beautiful, because the whole point is for you to feel absolutely amazing and gorgeous and more beautiful and confident than ever. So those are the 5 tips. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need color match, let me know. If you're having problems tweaking things, or if you have issues that you want to talk to me about and see if the makeup is a good fit, we can talk, we can figure it out. I will let you know the tips and tricks. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me so, so much. Leave a comment if you liked it, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.